channel. I'm so glad to have you here with me this week. Last weekend I went out for brunch and some book shopping with my friends and Justin, though he is also my friend, and I came out with this big pile and I thought I would share a little bit about which books I got and why. I think the type of books that people read can really speak volumes about where they are in their life. So I thought I would share a little bit about why I chose these books and the heart behind why I got them, and I guess also like where I feel like I'm journeying with God and why these books will hopefully aid me as I walk towards whatever that is that I feel called to. So I've got 7 or 8 books here, and I guess I'll just talk you through each one. Haven't read all of them, FYI. I don't read that fast. And I'm actually finishing another book at the moment by Alex Seeley. This is Tailor Made, and Justin got this for me for my 21st birthday. So I don't know why I never finished this because it's actually really good. It's all about identity, but yeah, I only got about halfway through, so this is my bookmark. And I'm finishing this off before I start any other books. So I guess the first book that I will start with is this big guy. Magnolia Table. Obviously Joanna Gaines, what a woman. She just like sets this amazing tone for like homemaking and inviting people into your home and how to present a beautiful, wholesome, tasty vibe for all the people who come into your home, and how to do fellowship in the home, which is something that I've been really wanting to grow in, especially since moving to Perth, but even since getting married. And I think as we've moved to Perth, we've really been trying to be intentional with building friendships and building community, and because of that we've really wanted to open up our home. So Justin actually found this one for me, and I reckon it's going to be such a beautiful tool with the recipes, but it also has like in the beginning this beautiful blurb about the art of gathering and the art of intention when you're loving people through having them in your home. So that is why I got this book. The next book I wanted to talk about is this book, Gentle and Lowly, and on the cover it says, "The Heart of Christ for Sinners and Sufferers." Christians know what Jesus Christ has done, but who is he? What is his deepest heart for his people, weary and faltering on their journey towards heaven? Jesus said he is gentle and lowly in heart. This book reflects on those words, opening up a neglected yet central truth about who he is for sinners and sufferers today. I could just soak in the cover of this and feel moved, let alone read it. So I'm really excited. And I think my heart behind getting this book was that I have found myself falling into this trap that I used to have a few years ago of being a perfectionist and then feeling really sad when I fail and when I don't do things perfectly, which I feel like it's very human to fail. It's very human to not do things perfectly. So logically I know that. Emotionally I need to get back with the Lord in knowing that I'm redeemed when I fail and that he is what makes me strong, not myself. And I think that that is something so beautiful about the Lord, is that when we are suffering or struggling or feel like we're failing, he is so gentle with us, aka the title, and he is just so kind. And I've always found that when I haven't really been living up to my own expectations, or when I know that I haven't been fulfilling what God is asking me to do, he has been so patient with me and so kind and so forgiving and loving, and I've always come out the other side feeling stronger and more connected to him. So as I'm walking into a new season of being challenged in my striving and in my people pleasing, I think this will be a beautiful book to help me through that. The next book I got is The Liturgy of the Ordinary. I've had my eye on this book honestly for years. I have it saved on my Pinterest, and for me so much of my ministry I feel is just in my everyday moments, the way that I can, you know, introduce the love of God to someone, not even by speaking his name necessarily, but just by loving on someone, or just by being intentional with a moment. Or even the way that I connect with God can be in the simplest of things, you know, the smile of a stranger, or the fact that I just notice something in the way I make my breakfast, or what my walk home from work looks like. And I think if this can help me integrate even more holiness into just those tiny, tiny moments that we so easily overlook, I think that is one of the most beautiful gifts during times of desolation, when you feel like God isn't with you, or when you feel far from God, that he is there in even the tiniest, tiniest things. So I'm really looking forward to reading this and seeing, first of all, what corresponds with the way that I already meet God in those everyday moments, but also hopefully encouraging me to bring him even further into those everyday moments. Next is God is Enough, which is an intense title, and it talks about how we might have unmet desires, whether that be career-wise, or whether that be even in healing or motivation, or even finding that first love fire that you had with Jesus when you first met him. I remember when I first had my true conversion, being so awestruck by Jesus. And I think you reach a point a couple of years later, after you've had that moment of really giving your whole heart and life to him, where you just go like, it's not really the same anymore. And just like any other relationship, of course it's never going to be the same. Relationships evolve, and if God's drawing you in deeper and deeper, you're going to be challenged in new ways, and your thinking is going to be challenged. You're going to encounter new questions that you have to break down and bring to him. I feel like Lent is the perfect time for me to try and draw Jesus back into the center of why I do things and what I'm aiming for, and even the way I enjoy things. So that is why I got this guy. I reckon it's going to be a really good read, actually. A little bit intense, but I feel like the most intense reads are always the ones that make you feel really convicted. Next is Max Lucado's Jesus, the God Who Knows Your Name. And real talk, this year I have felt like I have been closer to God than I have in years, but in the same way, I've really had these huge questions and huge doubts of like, does God really know me as an individual? Or no, I know that he does know me, but more that, does he really care about me as an individual? Because he's doing really important things, you know, taking care of the world and introducing himself to new people all the time. And sometimes you see those people who have just met the Lord and they're so intensely in love with him. And I don't know, sometimes it makes me feel like, oh, like they know him and he knows them. But sometimes I feel like, oh, do I just know him and he doesn't know me? Which is ridiculous. But this book basically touches on how Jesus was fully human and fully divine, and how the things that he would have suffered with on earth actually relates him so closely to us, and the way that he knows exactly what we're experiencing. And I think it's really easy to think of Jesus as like this holy, distant guy who was completely perfect and lived a perfect life, and you know, even died keeping his perfection, you know, went through the hardest things he could have ever gone through and kept his perfection. And here we are broken, and you know, we can't ever live up to that. But I'm really keen to read this and to just be reminded of the ways that God really knows my heart, and the way that God really experienced a lot of the sufferings that I experience now to a greater degree, you know, because he took it on everyone's account. And I'm just really excited to read this guy. I think this will be the one that makes me cry, but in a good way, like a cathartic, healing kind of cry. And the final book that I got is The Power of a Praying Wife, Kristen Johns on Instagram posted this probably like 3 or 4 years ago now, and I screenshot it before I was even married, and I knew that I wanted to get this book one day. And on the inside it actually just has all of these chapters about the areas of your husband's life that you can pray for. So in the contents, I'll read you a little bit. In the contents, it has chapters called his wife, his work, his finances, his temptations, his purpose, his health, his trials, his integrity, his priorities, his fatherhood, his past, his attitude, his marriage, his emotions. So there's like 31 chapters focusing on varying areas of your husband's life. And I think that praying for other people rather than praying about myself is an area that I certainly could do better. So I think starting off with Justin and praying for him and setting aside intentions for him regularly, not just when I think of them, is going to be something really powerful and something really beautiful, and hopefully something that really feeds into our relationship and empowers him as well. Anyways, that's all of the books. And if you have any books that you're reading, I would love to know what they are, because I'm always looking for new suggestions. Justin says I'm crazy because I read through a book in like 2 days if I'm loving it. So please put down below what you're reading and what your favorite thing about that book is. I'm so glad that you could be here and hang with me and listen to me chat about my books and a little bit about my season of life. I think one of the things in this channel that I want to happen is I want it to be a really honest place where if I'm struggling with God, I talk about it very clearly. If I'm like thriving with him, I talk about it clearly, because I feel like a truthful witness where you speak about your failings as well as your successes and your challenges as well as your strengths is a testimony that will lead you closer to the true heart of God, rather than something performative or something that only seems perfect. So I hope that me letting you into some of my challenges is something that empowers you, that even if you're struggling, even if you are very challenged right now or you have a million questions, that God will meet you exactly where you're at. And I think it's something really special that we have in the Father that we have, that we can just lay it all bare in front of him, the good, the bad, the ugly, the amazing, and he will love us just the same. And I'm sure that he appreciates our honesty as well when we actually do let him into the hardest things as well as our good things, you know. So thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a little thumbs up if you want to, and I guess I will see you next Sunday. I love, love, love every single person who watches, and I'm just so grateful that I have people to walk with and share with and build with here. So thank you so much, and I will see you super, super soon. Have an amazing week.